Thank you for the intro. It's really great to be here with you all this morning. For those of you who I don't know, I'm Molly McCabe. I'm Senior Manager of Government Relations. I'm with Jill Antonevich today and one of our newest team members, Steve Carlson. We are hoping to speak with you about our year in review, some of the results that we're most proud of that we think are representative of the evolution of our strategy and our department over the last 5 years. We're here representing our entire team, who you will see in the back of the room here with us today, as well as our fearless leader, who is going to be on her way back from Russia, for those of you who don't know, after finalizing her internship. So we'll take a look at our year and where we're going this year. To speak about 2008 is certainly to recognize an exciting development that we've had already. As we look at our org chart, you'll recognize a lot of the faces, but there are 5 new associates who've joined our team. Our government relations team has a new manager, Nisi Riley, and a new specialist, Jessica Bruskin. Jeffrey's team has expanded from 2 communications managers to 3. Jonathan Gedin is now joined by Steve Carlson and Kelly Sabo. And Kristen Lewis, our media relations specialist, has a new partner in crime, Katie Bussin, who we were lucky enough to get from the front line. And Jill's team has been reorganized to include 3 public affairs managers versus 2. Deirdre Asnes, Sonata Kazemi, and Michael Healy, and Susan Diaz de Leon is our new public affairs specialist. This expanded team makes us more effective in reaching our noble goal, which is to position US Cellular as a responsible corporate citizen in the communities we serve, and to align with your areas of the business to help us achieve profitable growth. But even with our new team, we can't be all things to all people. So these are the markets that represent our areas of focus for 2007, as defined for us by senior leadership as the areas of the footprint that will be most benefited by our function. For us, this means where we're spending more time and more resources in media relations, making those connections with elected officials, and spending some of our more significant charitable dollars. Following this strategy helped us have a great year in 2007, which we're going to walk you through from January through the seasons, but which will be a very short and entertaining 30 minutes, I promise. The year got started in January with our annual government mailing, which we work with many people in this room on, to capture who we are as a company in those target states and cities. From an economic development standpoint, the number of jobs, the network investment, the number of stores. We couple that information with who we are as a community player, our grants, our sponsorships, our donated phone service. This helps us paint that full picture of who we are as a company. And we share this with an extended list of people, all of our governors, our mayors, our lieutenant governors, and key members of Congress. We also share this information with our state and federal lobbyists so that we're all telling the same US Cellular story. These are really our defined messages for the year as we connect with those elected officials. And those connections begin right away through attending different inaugurations, activities with governors associations. As some of you know, US Cellular is the main sponsor of the Democratic Governors Association's largest fundraiser at the Kentucky Derby, through statewide initiatives that we've identified with our governors, or through different fundraisers. This is our business as usual. These are the tools we use to get our job done, which is to position US Cellular as that hometown player.
And certainly in 2007, it was our government relationships that helped us identify new nonprofit partners in our communities. We added 13 model nonprofits across 10 of our markets. Another key initiative for us in 2007 was articulating our community involvement strategy company-wide. It was the first time that we had ever told everyone in the company, these are the types of organizations that we're supporting. Groups that help economically disadvantaged youth, families, and seniors, and we want to align all our efforts around those organizations that we've identified in our markets. This extended into the work of the inclusion councils. They are doing a lot with community outreach, and by articulating our giving strategy, it gave those groups more direction, but also maximized our efforts as a company. And certainly, we really hit a stride in 2007 when it came to our grant recognition events in the community. We had nearly 30 events, and we had 85% participation of elected officials in those events, which helped us garner increased media coverage. Our strategy of larger dollar amounts for grants, fewer grants, really started to pay off. It also enabled us to fully engage our associates into those events and allowed us to hit that message of we're a hometown player in our markets. So whether it's Sylvester Morris, who is a service technician in Knoxville and helped us kick off the Digital Academy at the Knoxville Area Urban League, or Heather Tabor, who was in the previous photo, who's a field marketing manager in Hutchinson at the Hutchinson Boys and Girls Club, they really increased that media interest and again drove home that hometown player message. In the first half of the year, we were also focused on building that hometown player message in areas where we were expanding the network. And we learned a lot from our work in the Heartland launches in 2006. And so we went into those communities, got to know the elected officials, built relationships with nonprofits, and sat down with the media, so that way we were able to make a splash in those areas even before our doors opened.
As Jay mentioned, much of our year was spent on a little campaign you may have heard about, Connecting Rural America, the urgency of which really took shape in March when Jack sat down with 3 of the FCC commissioners at CTIA, and we quickly realized that they did not, in fact, share our commitment to rural America. With that, our department partnered with John Gockley and his external affairs team to launch a full-scale grassroots campaign that for the first time aligned our PR agencies with our state and federal lobbyists to apply public pressure to the FCC and Congress to protect the Universal Service Fund. This was done through coalition building, aggressive media relations, and government relations. And right out of the gate, we executed a large mailing to those key members of Congress to educate them on the issue and ask them to join our team in our fight in protecting this fund. Our media campaign kicked off with a response to Wireless Week, and we immediately launched our interactive website, which again educated folks on the issue, but allowed comments to be posted to the FCC, letters submitted to Congress, and letters submitted to the media. And to date, we've seen more than 4,000 of those FCC comments, more than 3,000 of the letters to Congress, and nearly 1,000 letters to the media. Much of this can be attributed by the support of many of you in the room and associates across the company, who for the first time really got on board with a regulatory issue and made all the difference in our campaign. But this year, it was all about John Gockley and external affairs for us. So it wasn't just Connecting Rural America, but we worked with them on a variety of regulatory issues that face the business. Analog sunset, E911, CPNI, any number of taxes we're facing in our states, in an effort to understand the issues and get out in front of them so when they made headlines, we could be a part of that story.
And at this point, it's springtime. A nice little shot of time there. Time for US Cellular and its associates to get outside and get involved in their communities. And using these large-scale sponsorships like US Cellular Rock Snacks, we can garner a significant amount of media coverage and at the same time position US Cellular as a hometown player. But when we can provide a permanent enhancement to one of our communities, in this case, the US Cellular Community Park in Medford, Oregon, we can garner, again, additional media coverage, but really start to build a reservoir of goodwill with our customers and also with our government officials. In this case, again, we were able to garner more media because we're able to go in there and really play up the commitment we have to our communities that we serve. And when we can partner up with big-name athletes like the Chicago Bears, we can use these types of sponsorships and the media we can derive from them to drive foot traffic to our retail locations and show our support for the associates on the front lines. But we don't need to have these large-scale events to draw media coverage. By using the volunteer toolkit, we can combine the check presentations we already have set up with our charitable organizations with the types of volunteer events that our associates are leading out in the field, and as a result, generate more media once again. This has been a successful combination for us, and it's something we're going to want to continue to do going forward.